Jonathan Yagi, what do you hope to get out of this interview today?
Want to learn something or implement something I'm not already doing.
Okay. How about you, Megan Yagi?
I just want to get better.
You want to get better? That's
Always
all.
trying to grow.
You know, a lot of people get bitter. They all get better. I heard
I'm all
somebody
about
phone
getting
just
better,
now.
not bitter.
Say again?
I said I'm all about getting better, not bitter.
Somebody called somebody a hater just now. I heard him. He said, "You just a hater. That's what you are. You're a hater." You know it. I don't hate Michael Jordan. I admire Michael Jordan. So I hate American income. I like Bernie Rapport. He started the company. I'm trying to figure out how I can be hated by more people, like people that hate Michael Jordan.
Yep.
What if you had as many people hate you as Jesus has? Everybody hate him. No, some people love him. Typically, that's the way it goes. A person that's loved is hated. A person that's hated is loved. It is interesting when you take a stance, or when you put numbers up and you become number one, people hate you, and then people love you. But it's when your name is not known, you really don't have haters. Nobody knows who you are, they can't hate you. You said, my girlfriend hates me. My ex does. Woohoo! She hates everybody. You're just one of everybody. Hey, Megan Wood, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Woohoo!
How are you doing?
Good. Have you saw? You had 100,000, over 100,000 in 10 days. Is this true?
I just did 2 CVS whole life policies.
I was going to ask you, are you still making sales after you made 100,000, 10 days in a row, 10,000? Then are you saying you made them today, those CVS sales?
1 today, 1 yesterday.
So when did you officially stop your $10,000 a day rampage because you got your little boy back? When did that happen?
I got my boy back Saturday morning.
So Saturday morning you stopped the rampage. So you went, let me check my calendar just so we're on the same page. You went, when did you started like on the 8th and went to the 17th? Does that sound right?
Yeah. Here, let me look at my calendar and I'll tell you.
And did 10,000 a day?
Yeah. So I went from Monday. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I went to like Monday all the way to 12 days in a row. I don't know.
12 days in a row. So you did 100,000 in 12 days, or did you do more than 100,000?
I did more. So I did, because I was doing 10,000 a day. So I did 120,000, and then I did 120,500 annual premium. So I went over my goal, so I'm super fired up about it.
Do you have, I know you're pretty good at statistics. You have any idea how much of that will get issued? Will you get 75%, 90%? What's been your typical expectation?
Oh, I'll get them all issued, whether I have to rewrite them or I might have to rewrite it with a different company if it didn't get approved, but I'll get them all issued for sure.
Okay. So to us, it might look like 80%, but to you, it looks like 100 because you'll go back and get them something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
This CVS product, why did you write that? Just so you could say you wrote it, or is there something special about it that opened it up for people?
The height weight chart is one thing, and then them being able to be over the age of 85 is another thing. So you can write it up to age 89. But the one thing is, Andy, is that I have several clients that can only get final expense. They've maxed out Transamerica. They've maxed out Planet. They've maxed out CSG. They've maxed out Mutual Omaha. What's left other than the greatest? So when we got this, it was like, fantastic. Like, I was just waiting for this opportunity. I'm like, now they can get more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've ran across that a lot.
I know what you're saying, but it's hard for me to comprehend because I always think it's people, I don't want to stress their budget, but you seem to not fear going to the same people over and over again.
No, because I go over their budget. I know their budget. I know what they're making a month. I know what they want. I know what they're making monthly. I know what their bills are. What do they have left? Like a lot of these people, like my friend Robert Grove, like he's a really good friend of mine. You know, I mean, we've been over his budget several times, and like what he's making and what he's putting out. You know, when my clients like Robert, well, things are getting a little tight, Megan. I'm like, all right, do you have your bank statement? You know, these are your bank statements. This is what you're making monthly. This is what you're putting out. This is what you have left. How are things still getting too tight? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, well, I didn't realize I had that much left over every month. You know what I mean? So like, I go over that stuff with them.
It sounds like you are in a roundabout way prioritizing people's money. Because when people don't know it goes away, they think they don't have it. But when you show them they had it, then they give it to us first, or I should say they invest in themselves first, then they just don't waste the money. Kind of like if you book 30 appointments today, now you don't have time to look at Twitter. You don't have time to call Mac and see what's going on with the Tar Heels. You don't have time to read your stupid magazine. You don't have time to check Facebook and see what your cousin's birthday, what they're going to do on their birthday. You don't have time for all the crap because you're putting the first thing first. So it sounds like to me you're doing the same thing with the money. You're getting them to do the first thing first, and then they don't realize it.
Right, I remind them. I always go back. Huh?
Megan and Jonathan, do y'all struggle with that too? Just wondering, like, people ain't got any more money. How can they possibly buy another life insurance policy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely think that that's something that comes to mind. You know, you worry about overselling and then we're losing the whole thing potentially. But that's just something that we create in our own mind. We don't know what the client wants. I mean, we do know what they want, but we're not ever going to know. We don't ask them, hey, this is something that came available to you. Are you interested in looking at it? You know, do you want more coverage?
Are you asking Megan, like on every single one, hey, what's your budget look like? Or are you just being aware of those type of?
She doesn't. Let's be clear, okay? She's not asking what their budget looks like. She asks them how much their car payment is and how much their house payment is, which is a totally different question.
Right.
It would be like, I just thought about 5 questions I'd ask you that would create emotion. I could say this, like, did you wash your car today, Jonathan?
No.
Did you wash it? When's the last time you washed it?
A week ago.
Like, so do you get it washed every week?
No.
Okay, here's the other question. Do you keep your car fairly clean?
Yes.
See how I know nothing. I know nothing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you washed it a week ago, right? Do you detail it yourself or do you get somebody else to detail it?
Someone else.
How much does it cost?
$20.
See, people are scared to ask those type questions, or they don't care. They don't care enough. So what I'm trying to do is interpret what this, you know, you're a project engineer. I'm a textile engineer. What are you, marketing communications, Megan?
Finance.
Yeah.
Finance, even more detailed. Even more detailed. What I missed?
Well, we forgot there's 2 Megans.
Oh, my bad. Megan Wood is a vodka and tonic mother, and can we get you some more ketchup? And I mean, she's got some vast experience. She's read She's attended meetings and she's heard seminars since, well, I think she said she was 14 or 13.
Me?
Megan Wood.
Oh, when I was doing like, are you talking about like counseling and stuff like that?
Counseling.
Like 13.
So since she's 13, she's had mental counseling to help her with addictions. Is that fair, Megan? I ain't trying to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, that's it. That's perfect.
Believe it or
And
not.
that's why
Say again,
I
Megan.
think it's helped me. I think it's helped me because I know how to talk to people and I know how to, I don't know. I know how to talk to people and I know how to make, because I always go back to like, oh, I'm not sure I have enough money. And then I'm like, well, wait, I mean, I know you wanted to make sure your daughter was taken care of. So I think it's all about like how we talk to the people and how we remind them. You know what I mean?
Because you had counselors do that to you, remind you what you want, remind you, and they would do it real simple and clear.
It's good.
Like I've been to a million Amway meetings, right? I've listened to a million Amway tapes. I usually give more credit to that than I do my textile engineering degree. So we can't underestimate the power of association and education wherever that education comes from. But you with me, Yaki, on Jonathan? Yeah. On no. She asked penetrating questions to determine their budget, but I bet you she never brings up the word budget. She just knows where their money goes. Megan, am I doing a decent job of interpreting your?
I love it. Yeah, you know, and I mean, once they're your client, they trust you even more. Like, I mean, I'm like, well, let me see your bank statement, Robert. He's like, here you go. I'm like, okay, so I see what your money's, what you're spending, and I see what you got coming in.
Hey, we're breaking up on you, Megan. Actually, you're muted. Try it again. Say it again, Megan.
I said, if you're short, I'm like, well, you're not short because of your life insurance and making sure your daughter's taken care of. I'm like, you're short because like you spent $500 at Walmart. I mean, like that's why you're short. Like,
you would say that to me?
Yeah. I'm like, what did you buy at Walmart for $500? I'm like,
that's a carpool, ain't
it? Yes.
Ain't been a Walmart.
Let's fix that problem. Let's fix that problem. You know? Kind of funny, but I mean, yeah.
So do you get objections sometimes, Megan? Megan Wood, about money? They don't have enough.
Yeah, I get those. You know, I had this one client, he was young, and they filled out a mortgage protection lead, and him and his wife were sitting there. They just got married. They just got a house, and she really wanted something. And he says he did, but I think it was more so her. And he's like, I just don't know if we have enough money. And so I'm like, all right, Robert, not Robert, we'll say Greg. I'm like, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? He's like, oh, I do bike racing, motocross. I've got like 3 dirt bikes. Like, he was in. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, you know, I had an ex-boyfriend, and his son was in like motocross racing, and man, that was really expensive, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I spent like thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, wow. So I go, and I'm not rude here, Greg, but you're telling me that this $40 a month is going to hurt your budget that you're spending thousands of dollars a year in motocross racing.
But
Don't you think
but you gotta have the kahunas to say that to people. Or here's another way that if you don't like that, you gotta give a damn about people.
Right.
You gotta care about them and not your personal feelings.
Right. So
Look, if I like the other day I called a guy, and you know I'm a way better recruiter than I am a salesperson. I think I can sell. Well, I know I can sell. But I'm screaming this guy, and I said a couple of bad words accidentally. But I told him, you care about everybody who wants me to buy from this vendor, invest with this company, and this will help the alliance. I said, I got all that. Is there any way you could get off your ass and book 40 appointments and quit trying to help somebody else? Help you make some money and quit being so freaking broke. It's embarrassing to your wife, your children, your mama, your daddy. Everybody's embarrassed because you're broke and you're texting me to buy from this other guy. What the heck is wrong with you? So then I felt bad. I was like, man, I'm sorry for cussing and calling you a worthless piece of, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Now, are you going to go to work? Does that make sense? In other words, I really felt bad. Megan, do you feel bad sometimes when you call them on the carpet? Or do you just go like, who cares?
I do, because I'm saying, I hope they don't get divorced. I'm like,
You
I hope
hope what?
I hope they don't get a divorce after I left. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I ain't sure if the walking is cut. You're breaking out so much. It's almost hard to understand you, Megan. I don't know if you get a better place. It's froze now. Yeah. If you can find a good spot. I know it's a pain. Hey, Megan Yankee, do you ever get that feeling like you're like, oh God, is this person hate me, or do they now think I'm a mean person? Do you ever get that feeling temporarily?
Yeah, but then I remember, I'm like, because I've been doing it more often recently. I've been, getting a little bit more bold with my clients. And at first, before you do it, you think, well, I hope I don't offend this person. But then after you leave, you're like, no, I was trying to help this person. If it's coming from a good place, there's no need to feel bad about it. Your heart's in the right place. If you say it wrong, then you say it wrong, but you have to know that your heart's in the right place and you're trying to really serve them. And, most of the time they'll feel that. And if they don't, then there's no one that can help them anyway.
Do you say, I love you and I care about you, Megan? Do you try to mix in a lot of mayonnaise, I call it, a little sugar? And I care about you. I don't want to be rude, but, or do you just light them straight up?
I don't really, but I say, okay, so I know you love Ashley. I know you love her. I know you want to make sure she's taken care of. But, and I do this a lot, Andy, like with meals, right? So I'll ask them, and this might be a better, for people, but I ask them, I'm like, how much do you spend if you and Ashley go out to eat at a nice restaurant? Oh, gosh, our bill could be over $100. Well, how often do you go to a nice restaurant? Like once a month, once a week. So are you willing to not go to that nice restaurant once a month to make sure something happens to you? Sarah, what do you think, Ashley? You know what I mean? But it boils down to, so funny story that Greg isn't the one paying the premiums, but Ashley is paying both of their premiums, and she's never missed a premium for an entire year because I said that. I'm like, hey, Greg still isn't paying.
Jane, I see Jane Bean is on here. Jane, can you come on video? Or are you
Yes.
Well, you don't have to, but it would certainly help us. So we did a Zoom call.
Oh, is that what those are for?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hi.
So
Actually,
are
I'm
you
so
gonna get
sorry.
arrested?
No, I'm so sorry. This agent is in a home. Can I pop out for a second?
Yeah.
He's calling me.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Go get a check. Tia, I invited other people on. If you can pop them up, I'm not sure if they are available or if you just hadn't highlighted them.
Mark Hutchinson and Paul Minikino, I know, were in appointments, so they were going to try to pop on if they could. They are not on yet.
Okay. How about the other lady that I sent you?
She's on now.
Okay. What was her name? Jennifer?
Yep.
How about Mike and Noel also? Jennifer? Jennifer issue paid $359. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey there.
Hey, Jennifer, this is Megan and Megan
Hey guys.
and Jonathan.
Hey Jonathan.
And there's Mike just joined and Noel.
Hey.
We know you've been selling a lot over the phone, right, Jennifer?
Yeah. Last 3 years.
10,000 a day, 10 days in a row. Not bad, huh?
Not at all. Not at all.
From a single mom, waitress background.
Not at all. And not to have any experience, not to have years of experience going out and actually that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome.
She does have 2 years experience. I want to be clear.
But I mean, even like, I'm talking more than 2 years. I'm talking like years of experience to be able to go out. And I mean,
I had this young guy tell me, he said, it just takes time. You need to give me a little bit longer. And I was like, okay. And then I went to our leaderboard and I started naming people that had been here for 20 years. And they're down at 100 in the company, 200 in the company. And I said, what explains, if time is the reason, how do you explain Ding Dong here, who's down at number 167, he's been with me 18 years? And he was like, so you're saying that's not the, and I said, really, it's probably just boldness and work ethic.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is she's fearless. She's fearless. Like she said, she's already, sold with CVS. I mean, she gets a product. She just goes out and kills it. So that's awesome.
We're excited. Hey, let me ask you this, Jennifer. Are you a competitor, a cheerleader, or if you had to pick, or a hater? You know what I mean?
I'm probably more of a competitor, but I can be a cheerleader. I'm not really a hater because I think everybody, I mean.
we go with cheerleader. We go with competitor first.
I'd go with competitor first. Yes, competitor definitely first. But of course, I'm going to cheer you on if you're doing well as well. But at the same time, I'm going to be like, well, guess what? So.
We're looking for competitors up in here.
Yeah. Definitely.
We have quite a few cheerleaders and a few haters. We need more competitors. We really do. I mean, just people that go like, I'm going to win. And if I can't beat Megan, at least I'm going to beat Paul Minikino, or at least I'm going to beat the Yankees. And
I might talk crap while I do it, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to throw a little mud. It'll be fun though.
How about product mix? Our product mix. Have you seen how wide our product bandwidth is? A little bizarre. Not sure if your current clients are available candidates, but we would never. Oh, by the way, let me tell y'all something about replacing business. I'm not going to ask you if you ever replace business, Megan or Jonathan, but in your head, I want you to be thinking, yes, I do, or no, I never would, ever. Or, yes, I do, but I don't check the box, or yes, I do, and I always check the box. Like, how do you handle that? I had a young man, and Megan, this is going to be critical to you also. Jane Hill, I think she knows this, but I never have ever thought about replacing business. I always tell the clients, keep it on the books at least for a month or two and see if it fits your budget. But if you want to cancel the other company stuff, you can do it. I'm not going to have that on my chest. I'm not. So if a carrier ever called me and said, how come you didn't check replacement? I go like, because we didn't replace it. I have never replaced business. I don't even sell my homes. I'm just buying more homes. People's asking me, I want to sell my jet. I don't want to sell my jet. I'm a buyer and a keeper. When I sell somebody life insurance, I expect them to stack it. Now, if they choose, I'll be like, oh, they canceled their case? Oh my God, I told them I would recommend they keep it. That's the reason I didn't check replace, because I didn't want it to be a replacement. I wanted it to be an addition. I'm an adder of insurance. I'm not against insurance companies. I think people need more. As a matter of fact, I had a guy one time, he had 2 policies in place, and he said he was going to cancel, but he drowned trying to save his nephew. He jumped in, tried to save, he actually saved his nephew, but he drowned. Had both policies on him because I told him not to cancel them because I'm not a replacer. Does that help, Megan Alleman? I mean, yeah, Megan Yake. Does that help? I'm not a replacer. That's why I never check it.
Yeah.
I'm not checking that because I don't do it. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not like that. I'm not a bad person. I love all insurance companies equally, and the ones that pay me more.
That's right.
Does that help y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Noelle, is that a helpful? Did your people use that? I want to add. I actually want to multiply.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I'm pro insurance.
Pro.
Add it on there.
I don't even like people that replace. Why would you? Megan, I'm getting sick of these people telling me that they call and talk to you 3 or 4 times a week. How is it possible you have time to talk to these people 3 or 4 times a week, and yet you still outsell them 10 to 1? I heard a guy told me, he said, my new guy's goal is to sell 5,000 a week. I was like, what? Why would you have a goal to sell 5,000 a week when she's doing 10,000 a day? Why? Well, you got to start small. Well, why don't you just say 500 a week? You know, let's get that hit first. Then once he does 500 for 3 weeks, then we'll bump it up to 1,000. Then after we get to 1,000, we'll bump it up to 2,000 a week. I would be like, if that fool can do it, I can do it. No offense to the Megans on the video screen, but if them fools can do it, if a girl can do it, I know dang well a guy can do it. Especially the one that's got a hat. Megan is outside now. I can't believe it. I talk to her 2 or 3 times a day. Quit taking their phone calls, Megan. They should get on the video and do the training.
I'm everywhere.
What are you, carnivorous or something?
Me?
That's what my boy said. I'm amphibious. I was like, well, I don't think that means the same thing. I'm amphibious. That does not mean you're everywhere. Noelle Leventovich, do you coach some of your salespeople across the country?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You got a deep
Said
voice
Noelle.
there,
Oh,
Noelle.
is it? I didn't hear Noel.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I do.
Noelle, you both of y'all coach.
Yes, we both do.
I could give you multiple choice. I could say work ethic, intelligence, boldness, ambition, product knowledge. What do you think is the biggest weakness across the country when you talk to people? What are they missing out? What are they missing? Why are they not selling 10,000 a week or 10,000 a day? What do you think? Top things that people need to wrong.
Mike and I have been talking about this for a while with our team, but it's leads, communication, and work. Those 3 things. Leads, communication, and work. Asking questions in between all that stuff.
I guess they don't have enough leads, not that they've got too
Well, not too many. No. It's that they don't, they don't know, I guess, to communicate and scream, that, hey, I need more leads. I need more resources. I never want to hear anybody say that a lead, not having enough leads is an issue. That's just crap. And so we have the resources. It's just communicating with those agents and saying, hey, let us know. We're here to help you, and then get to work, and then communicate with us that work part, and us being real with the people we're coaching, and Mike and I figuring out where to spend time and where not to spend time. That's been a big adjustment over the last 3 months.
3 months, but I'm going to make it even simple. So that leads work and communication.
He's going to fix what I said.
I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to just simplify. Normally, she has to simplify what I say. So this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm the complicator. She's the simplicator. But here we go. Simple. Book 40 appointments a week, and you'll write 10,000 or more a week.
Right.
And you need leads, work, and communication to get the 40 appointments. But we've seen about 3 agents have their first 10,000 weeks because they've been booking 40 appointments a week. So you could be the dumbest product guy. You could maybe not communicate that much. You might not even have the best leads, but if you'll figure out a way to book 40 appointments a week, you'll get so mad at God that God's going to start feeling sorry for you. He's going to just throw some deals at you, and you'll write 10,000 a week. You'll get God on your side. Even if you are a heathen, he will give you some deals.
He will come down and bless you. You're healed. We also tell our agents, Andy, that if you book 40 appointments a week, the skills and the knowledge and the confidence will come, and the results that you're looking for will come if you're booking 40 appointments a week. That takes care of it. And Mike's right. We have seen agents that have submitted 10,000 plus for the first time ever, and set 40 appointments a week for the first time ever. Just getting after it. But, yeah.
Chris Manifold on Megan's team. Yesterday, well, first of all, we celebrated because he wrote 10,600 last week. And he said, Mike, I'm starting to think more like Megan because I'm running more appointments. I catch myself acting and saying things like she would say. He said, I just had a shouting match with a client. He said, I was shouting at him and he was shouting back at me because I knew he cared about his life. Now, if you know Chris Manifold, he's a quiet, reserved, engineering type, that calm, soft-spoken. To picture him in a shouting match is hilarious. And he said, and when we were done, the guy signed the application and he said, thank you for helping me. Here, come on over. I want you to meet some friends in my church.
That's where them Christians are. Somebody told me this today. He said, I'm naturally lazy. I was like, me too. But if it's on my calendar, I will do it. So you have to be an intelligent lazy person to avoid work. You have to think, I'm not going to put anything on my calendar. Therefore, I won't have to work. Where a dumb person would just put it on their calendar and then work because they don't see it coming, Jonathan. They book Mondays, they book 20 appointments, 10 on Tuesday, 10 on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, they book. In other words, put on your calendar, I'm going to book minimum of 20 appointments on Monday starting at 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. and I can get off the phone after I book 30, whatever number you pick. But a minimum of 20, 7 a.m. till midnight, minimum of 20. But you could say, and I'm going to stop once I get 30. I'm doing a minimum 20, but a maximum 30, and I'm done. You say, because I deserve some bullshit time where I can just call up people and ask them, about stuff that don't matter, because I deserve that after a certain number. But after a minimum number, I don't deserve to sleep, eat, drink, go to the bathroom, watch TV, nothing. So I'd say minimum 20, maximum 30. And then that'll give you something to do Tuesday and Wednesday. And then you have to do it because it's on this calendar. It's a mental trick to get rich. Jennifer, Is this helping you at all?
Absolutely.
Are you ready to get started?
I am ready to get started. You're actually in my IPI time right now.
What does that stand for you?
My IPA time, my income producing time.
Activity.
Yeah.
Income producing activities.
Yeah, you're cutting into that. I'm just getting started, you know.
Well,
I've got Megan to beat.
here's what I'm trying to do. It's like a rubber band. I know now is the start time, but I'm pulling you back so that when you do hit that, the next 12 hours that you work,
Yep.
it's going to be more productive than if it had been 13. Like a rubber band. I'm going to pull it back. See
I'm
that?
taking away some nuggets. There's some nuggets here I'm taking away. Definitely.
I don't want many. Just a few. I just don't want to feel like I'm totally 100% waste. I had questions coming in from Megan the last time, and I really want to know, I want those questions coming back because I don't remember what they are. Hey, how about this? Megan, let's go back to new leads. You still get new leads. Is it because is it because Mike and Michelle are coaching you to do it because it makes it easier to target? Because I got a feeling you could work your current client list and do 30,000 a month. So why are you getting more leads? Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, this Megan.
Yeah.
Let's
Who-
do Megan
who?
Wood first, and then I'll
Okay.
come to Megan Yakey.
Okay. So yeah, I'm doing prior clients, but because the problem is if you help out your prior clients with hospital indemnity, life, their grandkids, critical illness, like now what? Everything. So I'm getting new clients, building new relationships, same thing all over again, and the referrals as well.
Megan Yakey, same question.
Why am I getting new leads on top of the current clients?
Yeah. Or are you?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm getting about 10 to 15 new leads a week. And I am working my current clients. I mean, I like to go see new people and get new referrals, and I like the new leads. I like working that. I am still working my current clients every week though. I'm not working them because I have leads. I'm just adding to the appointments. So I had a $21,000 day on Saturday, all from leads.
Yep.
21,000. How many apps?
12.
12 apps on one day. 29,000.
21.
21,000 in premium in one day. Was it any
From me.
annuities, or I mean, you had to have something crazy in there? How many big cases?
It was one annuity. The annuity was 89,000, so it wasn't a huge. I still wrote. I ended the week at like 25.5, and so I wrote 16,000 in life business, and then the other 9 was from the annuity. There was a couple of big cases. There was maybe 2 big cases. The rest of them were pretty average.
That's the way it usually works. 1 home run, 13 signals, a double.
But I probably wouldn't have known that it was a crazy day, and I knew I could do that, but just because, Megan, because of the standard you've been setting and because of all these things, it's just raising the belief level for everybody that they can do it. So it was crazy, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be also when it happened.
What wasn't as hard? Finding the money or running that many appointments?
Both. It's just about asking questions and being likable to the people that you're sitting with. When they trust you and they like you, the sale is easy. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm gonna ask you a
Yeah.
tough question. Jonathan Yaki. Y'all
Yeah.
seem just perfect. Does she ever think that you could do something different than what you're doing, and you ever think she could do something different like you see? And if y'all ever get into that little thing, or do you really do really good just not saying anything? How's that go, y'all?
I think we did a pretty good job of deciding that we're not going to do that early on. But yeah, there's definitely a level of that subconsciously, I think.
Yeah, we have to catch ourselves sometimes,
Yeah.
but no, we try not to do that.
Yeah, we try to be intentional.
Mike and Noel never do it.
Yeah, it's fun.
But we're good.
Who's y'all's best salesperson right now, Megan? Like in your downline?
Us.
True that.
I mean, we have a few people that we're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, there's just a
Who's
few.
selling the most? Who's selling the most? That way it ain't up to your call. Who's selling the most?
No one right now.
Nobody selling the most?
A lot of them fell off. We had about 3 or 4 that were selling and that are not selling at all anymore. So no one.
Is it because of coronas, or did they get a mental illness?
They just got scared. One of them had a baby, so
Megan had a baby. That's not. You can have a baby. You can still sell.
yeah, I'm not
They
gonna.
just got different. They got different
That's
reasons.
what they did. Not me, but
They got different reasons.
right.
Yeah.
So
Who you think's quit more? My people or your people?
your
Who you think's
people,
had more people quit?
you for sure.
For sure.
You've hired way more.
You know what? Let me tell you this. I have people that are with me that don't have people selling, and they did not send them the link to this call, and they had it. They had the link, but they didn't send it to people. And then here's what I get all the time. I didn't know. That'd be like not knowing that you can't sell, not knowing that we want you to sell hospital indemnity. Like, how do you not know? You with me? Like, as in, if you have downline, encourage them to be on calls like this. Why? It doesn't work. Well, sometimes it do. Sometimes it works. So what you do is you don't give up trying. You just keep pecking on them. Because you don't know, one day they might say, I'm going to try. God, Megan and Mike, and I'm trying to think of the questions that they were asking Megan before. We got Jonathan, we got Jane Hill. I don't know if Jane is available. I got several text people that are in houses that are supposed to be on call, but they're picking up checks. I'm not going to argue with them. Referrals. How if you give on a 100 being perfect, Megan, Yaki. 100 is perfect. 1 being you don't even try. And by perfect, I mean you get 12 and you book at least 9 or 10 appointments. That'd be perfect. 12 and you're booking 9 or 10. And then the same thing with you, Jonathan. Where would you rank? Where would you rank yourself, Megan?
1 to 100.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm about 50%. I
Okay.
do it, and I call my ERSs, and I book appointments.
You're so critical of yourself. I get that. Jonathan Yaki, what would you say you are?
I'd say 60%. I'm much better than I was.
If you were somebody else talking to you, and the somebody else, this is to Jonathan Yaki, the somebody else knew everything about you.
Mm-hmm.
The somebody else. And you were that somebody else talking to you. This person who's talking to you has the benefit of being inside your head. What would you say, maybe top 2 or 3 tips this person would give to you? He would say, please do this and please do this.
The biggest thing I would say is the fundamentals of what we do.
Or are you just talking about referrals?
Are you talking about referrals specifically?
Yeah. Referrals. ERS referrals.
Fundamentals in referrals. So one, like to get very, very basic, print the sheet out and staple it to your data sheet and your lead if you have to. And that's what I do because it's there. So it's a part of the process.
So are you telling me this person up here would encourage you to do what you're already doing?
Well, yeah.
Because I'm saying, what tips would he give you? He would say, keep doing that.
Yeah, keep doing that because you can't forget the basics, even if you're a pro.
Okay.
Yeah. And then second thing I would say is ask more and tell more stories about clients who didn't have a system set up, an emergency response system, and what happened.
So you would tell yourself to tell more stories.
Right, because I don't tell that many stories. And I know it works.
Practice telling stories.
Right. On why it's important.
That's great advice. It's great.
Because we all got them, or we know somebody who does. So pick whichever one you want to tell.
Do you have any stories of ERS that you can tell me now, and I could use that story? I could swipe your story. I had this one guy named Mary, and he had a husband named Tom, and
yeah. So use names. I had a client, Carlos, who died, and the claim was eventually paid, but it was after about 7 or 8 months because I personally had to track down the family because I didn't do the ERS like I should have.
Yeah. So then they had hardships. They had to raise money. They had credit cards bounce. People didn't make it to the funeral.
Right. And the check was paid and eventually, but it should have been paid sooner.
You got any stories for him, Megan?
I just I tell stories about the ERS system when I tell them why it's so important. And every time not every time, but a lot of times when I do that, I actually get stories from my clients and they say, oh my gosh, this just happened the other day. One of my customers did tell me that if this would have been in place for his dad, that it would have changed their life because they had so many different policies. The dad did, or he had so much different paperwork, they had no idea where to start. And if somebody would have called them and told them, hey, this life policy is with this carrier, that would have saved us so much time. So I get stories. I personally haven't I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have. I just can't think of it right at this moment. But I'm just thinking about that because that was the most recent story I've heard about the ERS system, how it could help. But it really does make a world of a difference.
I had one. I was just following up with a current client. And when I went out to the house, it wasn't my client. It was orphaned because the client, the agent got run over by a car. And he don't work with us anymore. It didn't kill him. It just incapacitated him. So all his clients are orphaned. And I was over there talking to him. And it turned out she had lost her husband, did not know he had a policy. And it had basically messed up the children's life, her life. It's been over a year and a half ago. I'm talking about they had moved into an apartment, lost the house. I found out, Megan, that he had a policy and got him $100,000. Now they're rehabilitating, trying to get back in a house. It just totally changed their life. This client this agent didn't get an emergency response system. I cried. She cried. We thought about suing the guy. I said, no, let's don't be haters. Let's just move on and let's focus on the future. And I'm not willing to make that mistake that my agent made, Megan. It just ticks me off to no end what this imbecile did to these people. Makes me want to scream, Noel. You can look her name up. Her name is Mary Johnston. She lives in Florida. Husband's name was Terry. Don't forget the T, Johnston.
Wow.
I hate to tell you a name like that. But does that help?
Yes.
You ever hear anything similar to that?
Yes.
You got to tell them clearer.
Yes, sir.
It's a referral system. Is that good, Noel? You like that? It happened.
I love it.
It
It's a
happened.
story. People get emotional about the story, and very specific stories.
Right.
Andy, here's what I see as leaders, like when agents are calling from the home. So if you're here and you're a leader, the one thing I catch is that as a new person starts moving, they simply just need to be reminded, because they're getting through the application, getting it signed, and there's that like euphoric moment, and I think they get distracted and they get in the car. So we're trying to teach people, call from the home before you leave. We'll celebrate with you. But then that's a chance for us as leaders to remind them, hey, did you get the ERS referrals? Oh, thanks for reminding me. Or, hey, I got them. I said, great. Did you have them text them? See, because as a leader, we can also get caught up in the celebration, but it's kind of like I picture Bill Belichick after the Patriots score a touchdown. Everyone wants to celebrate. He's just like, and he's thinking about the extra point. He's thinking about the kickoff. He's like, we ain't celebrating until the game is done. And it's kind of like, as a manager, I think we almost got to be like stoic. Okay, great. We scored a touchdown. What's next? Get special teams out there. Get that done right. We're going to run a 2-point or 1 point. And then how are we going to do this kickoff? We're going to kick deep. We're going to kick short. We're going to try to make them fumble. It's like we got to be thinking like that as we're coaching an agent. Like, okay, great. You got the touchdown. You got the application. What are you thinking about for the next sale? What are you thinking about? Did you do the ERS? Did you get names? Did they give you numbers? Like a new guy yesterday wrote his first app. And he said, oh, I got referrals. She's going to text him to me tomorrow. I'm like, here's his first appointment. So I'm like celebrating. I'm like, oh, good job, good job, good job. And here's what we do. Give them to you now. Get the form. Watch this training. Let's get better next time. Good job, good job, good job. And let's get better here. And then we got to make sure that he's got them at his dial session Thursday. Say, hey, you got those ERSs with you? Yes. Get them printed off with your leads. So as the coach, we got to think like this and help people. Yes, celebrate and coach.
It's good.
It's so crazy, the simplicity. Here's what we say, Jennifer. If you're in a home and you can't make a sale, call somebody. So we've been telling this one young lady, and we put Megan Wood training her, and Megan said, if you can't make a sale, call me. Mm-hmm. And the person that she was coaching said, well, I've always heard call somebody, but I never knew who to call. So now this lady is selling about 5 times more than she was before because Megan said, call me if you can't make a sale. Mm-hmm. The other guy coaching her would say things like, call somebody. And so she didn't know.
Third-party validation.
Huh?
It's about third-party validation sometimes. Sometimes clients need to hear a third-party validation of why they need something.
The agent, are you hearing my point? The agent had been failing and failing and failing because her coach was telling her to call somebody. But the new coach, Megan Wood, said, call me.
Right.
How it seems so tiny, Megan Yankee. So tiny. I had a manager ask me, said, my guys quit. There's nothing I could have done differently. What I heard was, my guys quit, and there's nothing I could have done. No, what he said was, there's nothing I could have done differently. What I heard was, what could I have done differently to keep people in? That's what I heard. And I went, all right, let me start with a list of things you did wrong. And that's when he about quit. because I was going to tell him all the things he did wrong with the new people. But what he was telling me is there's nothing he could have done different. And he wanted me to validate that. And I probably would have been better off with him if I'd known he was such a lily. I would have probably been a lot better off saying, sure, there's nothing you could have done differently. But what I heard was, what could I have done differently to help my guy? You with me? Mm-hmm. See, like what this girl heard, let's call her Jennifer. No, let's don't call her Jennifer, just Jennifer. Let's call her Tiny. So what Tiny heard was, call somebody. When she heard Megan, Megan said, call Megan. Call me, text me, I will pick up. Isn't that crazy? It's just communication is the lubrication of financial affairs. It greases the skids. It moves things along quicker. And being careful, it happens to me all the time. Somebody just said to me, communication's a bear. And I was like, yeah. It's clarifying and understanding, did the person get what you said, and slowing down to get it. Now, if you only have 3 people to talk to, that's a problem. For example, 20 appointments, you're going to find some money. You book 3 appointments, I can't coach you enough if you only have 3 appointments. Were you saying which one of y'all saying y'all had to jump off? Don't feel bad. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. Go make money.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Okay, later. Love y'all. Thanks. Y'all helped. We got just another minute. Michael, Michelle, what else did we ask? What didn't get answered with Megan for 4?
Mike's got some questions.
Yeah, I'm looking through here. Let's see, other things we asked. So when you do get a referral, Megan, and you get the ERS list, does your client text them right there or call her? How do you get the transfer of credibility once that client's name is on a list? What are some of the things you do to get introduced or make that a more fertile referral or contact?
Can you ask me that again, Mike?
Yeah, so when you do get a referral, whether ERS or list or however it is, what do you have the client do to introduce you to that person, or so that you already have credibility when you go to call that referral later? What do you do right there on the appointment?
I try and always call while I'm in the home. So I'm sitting there with my client, so they know I'm not some crazy person when I'm calling later. So we call together in the home. And so then I just say, I want to set up a time with you. I'm going to be in the area on Monday or Wednesday. Does the morning or evening typically work better for you? Because I want to introduce myself and give you my business card. But I always tell them, like, you're the top person on Mary's list. I asked her who she trusted, and you were like the #1 person.
So you call them yourself from the house?
Yeah. Well, I have them call.
So the client calls the referral they're giving you from their own phone. So they're probably more likely to answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh. So you don't call them, you get them to call them.
Right. And then if I have extra time that day, then I'll just swing over there. I mean, like, I had this one appointment, which was pretty cool. It was an apartment complex. So he gave me a list of every single person that he communicated with in that apartment. And I helped out 10 people in that apartment. And he went with me to every single one of the appointments. It was pretty cool. I spent a whole day there.
Boldness. Boldness, boldness. Megan, be more bold, be more crazy. Jennifer, you're brand new. Megan's goal was to be significant, and then all of a sudden it was to be #1. We'd love for you to compete. We got some competitors on this call. We've seen our production has shot up about 25% overall nationwide since we started doing this boldness talk, 40 appointments. Megan clearly, with over 100,000 in 10 days, has clearly set a new standard. Not mad at anybody if they do 1,000 a week or 500 a week. If their goal is 500, I just want to say, if she can do it, if Menachino can do it, if Yankees can do it, if Hutch can do it. Hutch was invited on the call. He said, Andy, I've got appointment after appointment. I'm trying to win. And wrap it up. Mike and Noel, anything? We've got an hour. If y'all's time, I got 50 calls.
I think I'm good. We covered a lot.
Good. 40 appointments a week plus.
Megan, thank you so much. Jennifer, thank you. Yankees, Dane Hill, love you. Thank you.